Fellow Cameroonians, both home and abroad, today, February 11, 2024, marks a turning point in our history. I want to start by saying this video is designed for Cameroonians below the age of 40 who believe that we can achieve peace, unity, freedom, and prosperity in Cameroon without violence. If you are above the age of 40 and you believe in this initiative, we welcome you. If you are above the age of 40 and you believe in violence, then this video is not for you. Our problems are man-made, and therefore they can be solved by man. Man can be as big as he wants. There is no problem of human destiny that is beyond human beings. For those who have been asking me, why do you have pink lips? I was born with pink lips, and my wife loves it. Most of us are seeking happiness. The question is, how do you achieve happiness? You achieve happiness when you are productive and contributing to the growth and development of your community. The more you contribute and build, the more you become happy. The happiest people are those who give to a cause and contribute to something bigger than themselves. 63 years ago, the people of the Southern Cameroons, through a plebiscite conducted by the UN, decided their fate, with an overwhelming majority of the people voting to join the Republic of Cameroon. When it was time for the British to leave, they conducted this plebiscite, so the people choose their fate. In a time such as this, it is important that the people choose their fate. By referring to the absolute as our immediate goal is not wise. We need practical solutions to practical problems. I want to start by saying, give me an opportunity to pour light on your dreams. I'm not here to boss you. I'm not here to lead you. I want to be the one who holds the torch so that you all can shine in your respective industries. I will be consistent, I will be stable, and I will communicate. I will not be perfect, but I will be authentic and humble, and I will not claim to know everything. I will continue to progress as we move forward together. Most of you feel cheated. Some of you feel marginalized. Some of you feel bad that they closed your factories, closed your power camp, closed your agricultural board. We have IDPs right now everywhere around the world. Based on our research, the overwhelming majority of our people want peace at this moment. And so today, on behalf of our people, I call an end to this war for those below the age of 40. Let peace reign. And I want to say we did not sit on the table to start this war, and we do not need to sit on the table to end this war. For those above the age of 40, I want to say, based on the distortion of history, we do not know who to believe. And so those below the age of 40 detach themselves from this conflict. Those above the age of 40, you can keep fighting and make sure you get clarity. But some of us, we do not want to end up in our 60s and singing the same songs and saying, this is what happened to us and we had no control over it. So we take our destinies into our hands. Just to remind you, all the silence that went on during the 20th century, wars that were fought globally, death is the least thing you have to fear at this moment. Pursue truth. Pursue justice. Pursue equality for all Cameroonians. But do it civilly and do it the right way. There will be skeptics. There will be doubters. There will be people who will fight this vision. There will be traitors. But we will overcome them all. We can't solve a problem by refusing that the problem doesn't exist. You don't solve a problem by creating another one that will explode some 50 years down the road as well. We will not wait for the white people to come fix our issues. We will fix our problems. Problems are not fixed in one day. But this is the foundation to initiate further dialogue and bring an end to the suffering of every Cameroonian, both home and abroad. Collectively, we say never again shall we pick up guns towards each other. Never again shall we kidnap and kill one another. Never again shall we feel marginalized and not having control of our own destiny. Some will ask, who are you? I want to say, it is not the job of the government alone to initiate peace in Cameroon. It is the responsibility of every citizen of Cameroon to initiate peace. We will proceed to have conversations with the government to rehabilitate those in prison and make arrangements for those in exile to be restored. Development projects will be initiated, starting in Douala and to the villages affected by this war. Cameroon is a blessed nation, and we will foster unity, create an ecosystem of equal opportunity for all Cameroonians. What we have observed so far is that people have to comply with the AMBA or the military when cash is needed. We say no to bullying. We say no to threatening people. We say no to fear. And the real war is the war on poverty. And so we are committed to eradicating poverty in Cameroon by following what works around the world, modeling developed nations. Today, we send back to the kingdom of darkness what it has unleashed on us. We send the kingdom of darkness packing out of Cameroon. The kingdom of confusion, manipulation, wickedness, frustration, bribe, arrogance, lies, and bitterness out of our beautiful nation. Today is the day we choose. We are making a decision to rise. In the midst of uncertainty, we rise. Even though we feel marginalized, yet we rise. Even though we have lost loved ones, we rise. Even though some of us have lost our homes or our villages have been burnt down, we choose to rise. I want to say there is this beautiful story about Fernando Cortez, who wanted to conquer Mexico. When he arrived the shores, he realized that his soldiers were hesitant. They were thinking of returning back home to Italy. In order to motivate them to fight, he burned the boats that they came with. Burning that boat indicates that either they fight or they die. Because of that decision, the people fought vehemently and they conquered Mexico. Today, in this dispensation, in this 21st century, we choose to fight disunity. We choose to fight poverty. We choose to fight corruption. We choose not to be a victim in this dispensation, but to take our destiny into our hands, to change the story of our nation, to carve a new path for ourselves. From what we've heard, from what the people are saying, from the thousands of messages that I've received on my WhatsApp, the people do not care who started the war, nor do they want independence. The people simply want peace. We have bought guns to fight one another. The guns only destroy but never create. The most important subject right now in Cameroon is the subject of peace. The question is, which peace do we want? Peace is the rational end of rational men. Peace is not as exciting to pursue as war. The most important topic, which is peace right now in Cameroon, is what we must pursue. The kind of peace that makes life in Cameroon worth living. We have invested millions of francs to buy weapons that destroy but never create. We will not seek peace unless the government ends the war and initiate dialogue, as some say. But I also believe that we must examine our own attitude. We must examine our own attitude towards the government and our own attitude towards each other. We need not accept that we are gripped by forces we cannot control. So today, we take our destiny into our hands and we say an end to this war for those below the age of 40. Those above the age of 40, I encourage you to pursue what you believe in and never give up until you communicate with French notables that were present at the Fumban conference and the other tripartite conferences that were held in Cameroon and find a logical conclusion to your cause. But as of those below the age of 40, we will pursue industry. We will pursue the trends that are transforming the global economy. We will pursue creativity. We will pursue love. We will pursue unity. We have decided to find a way to live with our French brothers, of which most have moved to Yaoundé and Douala, and they are doing just fine in that integration process and creating a conducive environment for all Cameroonians. I want to end with a story. There was a man who loved the wife so much, and the wife loved him as well. They got into a bitter argument and they started fighting. They fought each other for years. In that process, none of them left because they genuinely love one another. One day, they decided to make peace and resolve their differences because they realized that in as much as they are fighting, they still want to be with each other. Some of you listening to me, you probably had a girlfriend or wife that you fought each other tirelessly, but you have not been able to separate because of the love that exists among you both. Fighting in a relationship is accepted. But if you fight to the extent that you're malicious to kill one another, my point is, we are deciding today to be the catalyst of change in that nation, to rekindle the spark in that nation. Our parents came together this day and decided their future. It has been celebrated as a youth day in Cameroon. And so today, we the youths take our destiny into our hands. We are the leaders of today. We were the leaders of tomorrow when we were growing up, but today, we are those leaders, and we are making the decision to initiate peace at all costs. For those below the age of 40, I want to say, if you still have guns, it is time to lay that gun on the ground, and the government is going to introduce to you guys a disarmament process. We are going to proceed with education. We want to raise a new breed of Cameroonians, people who are committed to seeing change. Those who will wake up with no food in their stomach, but pursue the cause of contributing to make their society better, make their community livable. Those are the new breed of Cameroonians that we envision. Cameroonians that would love to read books, not just when you want to go write an exam, but read books to develop yourself, enhance your skills so that you can move up the ladder in your organization. There are many in prison that we will start implementing measures for rehabilitation and restoration back into society. And there are those who are IDPs that are displaced around the world. We will start initiating projects to ensure that they return back to their respective homes. I also want to say, many need to be taught the history of our nation, not a history that suits an agenda, not a history that is full of lies. Inasmuch as history is important, I want us to look at the future with hope, with optimism, and a strategy for success. I have a 20 years plan for our nation. And this plan is to move Cameroon from where it is with a GDP of $45 billion to a GDP of $1 trillion in the next 20 years. And this is achievable. The plan is very simple. We are going to be modeling developed nations. We are going to train Cameroonians in the industries that are transforming the global economy. One of the reasons that people fail in most projects is because they don't recognize patterns. They don't accept what works. They want to do things their own way. But this time around, we are going to model what works. There are key industries, 7 key industries that are transforming the global economy. And the goal is to train 3,000 Cameroonians. Out of the numerous people that will go through this training, we want to end up with 3,000. These 3,000 will create jobs and opportunities that will transform that entire nation in the next 20 years. We will need little help from the government to achieve this, because most of us have always depended on the government. But I want to remind us that America was not built by the government. America was built by citizens who have the passion to see transformation. Those are the new breed of people that we are raising in Cameroon in this dispensation. If we will need government help in terms of regulation, we are going to seek their help. But we, the people, have decided to take our destiny into our hands and make sure that we bring about this transformation. At the end of the Civil War in America, new breed of leaders emerged. They were not politicians. They were businessmen. They were the John D. Rockefellers, the Andrew Carnegie, the Henry Ford, the J.P. Morgans, the Vanderbilts. These people collectively, through their shared effort, created industries that transformed this nation that we see today and want to make visas and passports to travel to. I want to encourage you that most great nations are not created or built by government. They are built by people, the citizens of that society. We have been sold this lie for years that government ought to do everything for us. Today, I want to instill in us the spirit of nationalism, the love for one's nation. What I'm doing here, any other Cameroonian can do. And every Cameroonian should do this. You should be able to have love for your nation. Speak up when it's time to do so. That is where transformation starts. And I want to let you guys know we are going somewhere. This is just the beginning. But today, February 11th, 2024, marks a turning point in our history. We will start educating every Cameroonian on the history of their nation. We will proceed to initiate agricultural projects. From agricultural projects, we'll move to the service sector. Cameroonians will be able to have jobs abroad, operating call centers in Cameroon. We can all do this. If we could put our money together and buy guns and fight the government did not contribute to the guns that we use to start this war. We did. And so we can collectively put our money together and build our nation and create for ourselves the kind of Cameroon we want to see. What I'm sharing with you here is the Cameroon dream. The Cameroon dream is a dream of a nation where French-speaking Cameroonians and English-speaking Cameroonians live in unity, live as brothers and sisters, love one another, cooperate to establish businesses and projects that create the ecosystem for productivity. Dear friends, I know that God is our helper. And the kind of God I'm talking about is not a God that lives in the sky somewhere. I'm talking about the kind of God that resides in your heart. The reason why you have conscience is because God exists. After studying the works of someone like Max Weber, he makes me understand that what you believe has a correlation with your productivity and success in life. So faith is not just going to church and professing the name of Jesus, but the faith in a God that believes in you, that wants the best for you, that gives you the energy and the strength to go out there every day and be a productive and contributing citizen of society. Max Weber, in his book, Protestant Work Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, he helps me to understand the connection between your belief and productivity. Understanding that most great nations on earth believe in one God. And there is a pattern that can be seen across developed nations. And that is the God that I'm talking about. For those who think we should not follow the white man God, but rather we should stick to our African God, I want to remind you that this God is not a white man God. Rome never believed in this God. When Jesus was alive, Rome had colonized Israel. They did not believe in this God. Rome was divided. They had multiple gods, because some of us look at this and say, our tradition is so special that we need to protect it. And I want to let you know that Europe had traditions stronger than ours. They had all types of God. If you read your Bible carefully, you remember when Paul went to Rome, there was even a statue that was erected to an unknown God. They had all sorts of gods, and they also had an unknown God. And he had to use that premise to explain to them the real God. When you look at the history of Christianity, you realize that there was a Roman emperor called Constantine. This man saw a cross in his vision, which indicates that he will go to battle and he will win the war. And he went to battle and he won the war. And he decided to let go of his gods. They had all kinds of traditions stronger than ours. And he decided to let go of that tradition, make Christianity, even with his own struggle, completely getting away from the gods that he had known his whole life. But he made Christianity a national religion. Today, you know that the Catholic Church emerged from Rome because Constantine, a Roman emperor, believed in Jesus Christ. And that marked the turning point for this faith. So if you think that your African tradition is so strong, is so important, I just want to let you know it is time for you to rethink and copy what works. If we have to do everything by ourselves as Africans, if we have to live on what we know and what we have, then we will be left behind, because this Facebook or YouTube was not created by Africans. So we will have to create our own Facebook and our own YouTube. The mobile phones we used, most of them were not created by Africans. So we will have to create an iPhone that Africans will use. But this is a limited view on reality. We have to look at the big picture. We are all part of the human race. And that is why we should be quick to adopt what actually works around the world and not stick to what we think we know and stick to what we think is ours. I understand how far we've come as a people. Christianity was introduced to us during the time of colonization or slavery and slave trade, which makes us hesitant to accept the reality. Rome accepted Christianity because some people think that King James wrote the Bible. King James did not write the Bible. King James translated the Bible from Latin to English. The reason why I'm bringing this clarification is to help us understand that if we will build Cameroon and make it a developed nation in the next 20 years, we will need to believe in this God. And the greatest vision or prophecy that you can hear from this God is a prophecy of a better future in the next 20 years. That is the vision that I bring to you today. It's a 20 years plan that collectively we will transform that nation. I'm going to unleash to us more details about this project, but I encourage all of you guys to engage. Some of you are researchers. Some of you are extremely smart. Some of you have skills in different industries. Some of you will be teachers in this project. Some of you will be project developers in this project. Some of you have different ideas and strategies and philosophies and ways of doing things that will be very instrumental in this project. It is a cooperative effort. With that being said, brothers and sisters, united we stand. We stand for peace. We stand for prosperity. We stand for freedom, genuine freedom, freedom in the mind. We stand today to say we will never again be in this condition. We will never again pick up guns against one another. We will never again kidnap one another. Today marks the turning point of these barbaric practices that are going on within our communities. History was designed for us to study and make the future better. History was not designed for us to rewrite it or try to correct it. History is designed for us to study it and make the future better. And so I thought I'd bring clarity to that. Our best days are not behind us. Our best days are ahead of us. There is a promising future for every Cameroonian. As we believe and unanimously embark on this project, we will experience freedom, peace, unity, and prosperity in Cameroon and for all Cameroonians. And to conclude, I want to let those below the age of 40 understand that you are the one that you have been waiting for. You are the one to bring about this transformation. You are the chosen generation. You are the ones who are brave, courageous, and have passion to see change happen. You are not a mistake. You are on earth for a purpose. And this is time for you to unleash your true potential, but towards building and not towards destroying. I wish you guys the best. Enjoy the 11th February. It is a time to reflect. It is a time to think. It is a time to come to an understanding that it is your time. 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 You are Cameroon. You are Cameroon. You are Cameroon. All right. If you like this video, you're going to like this other episode, and you can watch it by clicking right here.